Hey everybody, I'm Matt Hill. I'm here in Denver, Colorado with a very good friend of mine, and we're at the SPE REFRAC conference. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daugherty. I have been in oil and gas for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
I think
active.
I've known you the whole 10 years.
Pretty active in the OKC SPE scene.
You're active in all scenes up there. Man, we couldn't do most of the stuff we do without you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You're a hand.
Thanks. Better than being a foot.
Well, I don't even have anything to say to this clown. I love her. We're very fortunate to be in Denver, Colorado at this REFRAC conference. I really think this is just going to be something so vital for our industry. Well, before I get into all that, just give me your background a little bit. Like, what got you interested in oil and gas? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, so I'm from Power, Montana, population 100. Went through the same two doors, K through 12. Had the same teachers my whole life. And then I went to Montana Tech to go to be like a sonographer. I wanted to take pictures of babies.
That's cool.
And then I quickly found out that, to get into the sonography program, you had to do radiology tech, which people have broken bones and I don't do blood. So after job shadowing, I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Can't. And then I just was kind of the boyfriend I had at the time, he was doing Petroleum. I read his Petroleum 101 book pretty much front to back. The one day I was like, well, this is interesting. I didn't know that gas didn't just come from a gas station. I had no clue. Never been exposed to that ever in my life.
No one in your family, no one else in your circle that were in energy up there?
No, I didn't. Kind of going north from my hometown to another small town that we would play sports with, they had some pump jacks, but I had no clue what they were.
Yeah.
So I had seen them, but I never ever thought anything like.
That's what I wonder about most of the world is, they see the stuff that we do, but just oblivious to how any of this gets done. That's why, we're doing this.
Yeah, I never knew anything about oil and gas. So I thought that was really interesting, and I've always loved math. And so I was like, well, engineering, cool. I could do that maybe. I like math. We'll see how it goes. So that's really how I got into it.
It went well. She beat everybody in the school.
So it's kind of simple. And then I had my oldest daughter when I was a sophomore in college, so that's why I stuck with it. I knew that if things didn't work out with her dad, that I would have to be able to help provide for her.
Smart.
And so I had thought about maybe I should quit Petroleum and do teaching so that I could stay, my schedule would be with my daughter just in case something ever was to happen. And I stuck with it so that I could provide her a better life.
And you're doing it. You're a good mom.
And so
your kids they're not the worst.
They're not the worst. I think they're the best.
Yeah, I do too.
But yeah, so that's why I stayed in Petroleum. Went to Montana Tech, graduated with my bachelor's in petroleum engineering, and then I worked at Packers Plus Energy Services for about 7 years.
Yeah, good company.
Yeah, it was a really good company. It was growing at the time. Open hole completions was
She was growing that company.
Open hole completions was the thing at the time. So I really learned a lot. I feel like I got exposed to a lot of different basins in the U.S. and it was fun. That's where I pretty much, after college, where I grew up, became an actual adult.
I think you were an adult right when we met you, and we're just catching up to you.
Thanks. And so from there, Packers Plus was kind of moving in a direction outside of, so they worked in Casper, Wyoming, and then I worked in Houston, Texas, and then they moved me to OKC. In Oklahoma City kind of was falling off of the open hole market in 2017, and so I ended up getting laid off from Packers Plus, and then through field hands that I had worked with at Packers Plus and ran jobs with and was their kind of technical support, they helped me get a job at TAM International, and then I worked at TAM for about 3 years doing everything from, I was basically a field hand again.
And an engineer.
And a technical business development. So I did kind of operations. Yeah, I did kind of all of it for TAM. And then same thing, like our main customer in Oklahoma went bankrupt. So we had to shut our doors in OKC. But I still worked for TAM as doing business development in Oklahoma City for about a year after that. And then COVID hit, and then I still work for them, still about another year until June of 2021. And they wanted to move me to Midland.
You just couldn't at the time.
Yes, I couldn't at the time because I do have I have 3 children, and my oldest daughter's dad does live in Oklahoma, so it wouldn't have been fair to her to take her away.
Tough choices.
It was a tough choice.
All of our industry makes these tough choices. It's fascinating. What it means to navigate all these companies and where we're located and the basins that are right now versus future. We don't know.
Exactly. And so my family loves Oklahoma City. We love living in Edmond. We live in a great neighborhood. We had just got done building a house. And like I said, we really kind of have some roots there. And so
you are always going to have a career wherever you want it. I mean, your skills are, it's hard to hold a candle to you in a lot of things you do.
So kind.
I've known you a long time, and all your skills are very applicable to really just anywhere you would want to, go to work.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I worked at Oklahoma Natural Gas doing kind of like a key accounts role. So key accounts representative for large natural gas consumers around the state. And that was really cool. I got to learn a lot about different companies' consumption of natural gas. And so that was kind of, get a little nerdy in there. Got to go watch glass be made.
That's cool.
I got to tour a brick factory. So, those are some of the highlights of working at Oklahoma Natural Gas, which now I work for Vertice Oil Tools, which is...
let's talk about Vertice. So 30,000 foot view for those that are in oil and gas or outside of it. What do you offer as far as tools and services?
Yeah, so Vertice offers refrac cemented liner equipment. Yeah. So we have basically the entire suite of refrac tools. So everything from your toe sleeve, your wet shoe sub, to your encasing packer, to a refrac cemented liner, the tie-back sleeve, on-off tool. We offer everything for it. We also offer 3.5 plugs and 4-inch plugs for the refrac liners.
Any services that go with that?
Yeah, so we have field hands. We have field hands that go out on the jobs.
Engineers, of course.
Engineering, we do have also an internal engineering that if a customer wants a new product or has an idea of what we can do to improve them in the refrac space, we can usually help them out with that too. Which I think is how the company kind of started, was that they wanted to help solve people's problems in the refrac space, and that's how they kind of partnered with a customer and figured out how to solve their problems.
I think this is going to be, again, one of the most important, pieces of our industry moving forward. Oklahoma for sure, but I mean, how many? There's 1 million wells, in production right now, and there might be 8 million wells that are, sitting around the country that might be idle, But if we went out and just took a look at every single well bore and said, hey, if we do a refrac, we can, take this production up. I mean, as well as I do, if we've, recovered resources out of any of our well bores, it's usually in that, 7, and not really higher than 10%, recovery of our resources. So, the sky's the limit on what we can do in the future with refrac capabilities.
Yeah, so we have I think we've learned a lot. We've done over 200 refracs.
Wow.
I think we're kind of you'd say like one of the first people to do the cemented refrac with the liner, and so we've done quite a bit. And I think there's a lot of lessons learned from the work that we've done, and I'm learning. That's why I'm here at the refrac workshop, because
we're all learning from each other. That's the neatest thing. It's you get to see the engineers come here that work for the operators, and they're interested in learning, but we all get to collaborate with each other as the service providers and the tool providers and go, hey, this overlaps. What we do together can really be beneficial to our entire industry. Yeah,
and I think this refrac workshop is wonderful, because we're learning so much about what people are doing in different basins, and what you do in the Eagle Ford, they're not doing in the Bakken. The Bakken's different than the Eagle Ford. I mean, just like a regular completion, right?
Yeah, the rock's different.
Yeah. So Some
Pressures.
Some people are doing bullhead refracs. Some people are doing casing and casing cemented refracs like we do. It's just dependent on the operator, the area, their budget, what they want to do, how they've done them before, their lessons learned. And so I feel like we're really getting a good collaboration of all of that information. I had spent 2 years at Oklahoma Natural Gas, so I kind of was out of the upstream area for a while, right? And so coming back into it and being in something, a refrac, which is such a hot topic right now.
It should be.
Yes, deservingly so, right?
And here's why for me, I think of it as an energy security issue. If we continually become, reliant on all these giant corporations getting, put together, and it's harder and harder to go out and get permitting, and it's very expensive to go drill new wells. Why shouldn't we go toward the refrac side of things and keep all of these, what is marginal to the large operators is not to all these smaller operators, and really revitalize our energy independence so that we're not just worried about having new wells online. We're extending the life of all the other wells. I mean, that's good for everybody. It's good for our energy resources. It's good for the mineral owners, the land. I mean, I don't see any downside to making sure that's the biggest thing going.
And just like we can make these wells better, because what they did in 2010, 2011, 2012 is not the same technology we have for fracturing for now, right? So your well spacing was larger, your proppant loading was different. So there's just so many lessons learned over the last 10 years that we can go back and make those wells better.
Yeah,
and I think that's pretty interesting.
And not just in the horizontal wells. I mean, even in the vertical well side of things, there's a lot of neat technology coming out for that, where we can go and frac or refrac all these old vertical wells.
Yeah.
So small operators get involved in this as well.
Yeah, I haven't dealt much. Everything I've done since I've been in oil and gas has been horizontal stuff. I don't know a whole ton about the vertical. There's
a lot of people I'm seeing starting to look at fracking in different vertical wells. So
I assume you would bullhead refrac those, probably, just the cost efficient wise, right?
I mean, you don't want to spend
on a refrac well, right?
I mean, I want to go out and frac every well. Hey, if it's 3 barrels, let's take it to 6. If it's 6, let's go to 12. Let's go after every well. Let's keep it from getting plugged and abandoned. There's so much technology we can line an entire wellbore now where it doesn't have casing issues and out damaging the environment. All the ESG things that people talk about. It's us as an industry solving our own problems.
Yeah.
As definitely. Always. It's Brittany.
No.
How do we get the next generation involved to do all this?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a question I've been asking myself.
You guys have positions open. Everybody does, and convincing everybody like, hey, if you're out there and you don't know that oil and gas are going to be around a long, long time, now's the best time ever to get involved.
Yeah, we're constantly in OKC in our SPE chapter trying to do outreach things to high schools, to the colleges.
Scholarships.
Yes, we do scholarships, giving away quite a bit of scholarship money this last year. And a lot of the criteria is that you are going to go in oil and gas, or you're involved in SPE at your collegiate level, or when you graduate high school, that you will be at your collegiate level.
Maybe we should start giving these scholarships out to anyone, and people like your own experience, not really, have a direction just yet, but boom, you get that interest.
So we do have ones that are like a descendant, or I don't know what you call it, like a son or daughter of someone of an SPE member.
That's good.
And so those are scholarships that don't have to be an SPE or in oil and gas or in engineering. And this year we really did open up the criteria to engineering or oil and gas. But you did have to be a member of SPE at your collegiate level, which the membership is free when you're in college. I think Chevron still sponsors that, I think. And so
we're gonna go help these student chapters get more involved.
I hope so. I'm
determined.
I think we've really got a lot.
You've done a good job. You actually are always behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, and they voluntold and volunteer to make sure all that happens somehow, some way.
Yeah, it seems.
I don't know how you do all you do. People are like, Matt, you're everywhere. I'm like, I got a girl. She does way more than me.
Just an OKC.
Yeah. I make it look like I'm busy. She's actually busy.
We just started planning Mardi Gras.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Yes, so it will be February 17th at Vast at the Devon Tower again this year. Last year we sold out, and we raised $47,000 for Willow Springs Boys Ranch.
Man, what a great charity.
So I'm hoping we can do that again this year. I'd love to do more than that.
Yeah.
And we have the boys out. We're gonna do a cleanup day again sometime this fall for them.
Yeah.
And
I want to bring my cooker out again. I had so much fun doing that.
Hopefully.
Feeding kids. It kept me out of actually doing the cleanup part too. I was like, I'm busy at the cooker.
Yes, you were. You didn't have to use a chainsaw or anything.
Oh man, sweating it out here, making the glizzies.
But they love having us out just to cook and hang out with them and play volleyball or just chat. And it's kind of a new group of boys this time. A few of the ones that we've had for the last few years graduated high school, and so I'm really looking forward.
Maybe we'll recruit them. All those young people. That's the ones we need to grab. Like, you see how much fun we have giving back to our community. You're next. You're going to be doing what we do, and you're going to be helping the next generation.
I'm really looking forward to getting a new connection with the new boys this year. So
yeah, don't say it like that.
Well.
Another oil and gas mishap here in the great state of Denver, but that's fine. We're from Oklahoma. We talk real plainly.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, thank you for doing this. Thank you for letting me know about this conference. I know you were asking me like, what's up with all this swell frac stuff you're doing, yada yada yada. But reach out to me. I'm helping another company out. Of course, Stephen is still doing the fire suppression system for all oil and gas locations, operations. We really want to protect our industry and our people with the night fire suppression systems, but we got to keep moving forward and new opportunities with new technology. He came up with this swell frac, and so when you talked to me about this, I was like, I'm going up there. I'm going to learn all I can about refrac, and we're going to get the word out. We want to help and get involved too. Meet with companies like yours, see where our services overlap. I mean, we live in the greatest time, yet of our industry to, collaborate with platforms like LinkedIn and just all the ways we can network. So just get involved, everybody. Come help, pitch in like Brittany does to Oilfield Tailgate, and I'll connect you with, the entire world, and so will she.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on here, Matt.
Hey, anytime, and don't keep crowbarring these in so we can remind each other all the events coming up.
Yes.
Anything else you can think of?
I don't think so. What?
How do people get a hold of your company? What's the website?
VerticeOilTools.com.
Ta-da! There we go. Reach out, support my friend here, support what they do. Go look at your wells, get in touch so we can get them all refrac. Take care. God bless you.